Spooky. Welcome to What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
Together we are
Ryan and John.
on the couch. Producer Cara Philly and the lovely Annie Scoveman.
Spooky.
Yeah, what an
It is
intro.
spooky season
What an
now.
intro.
Loved it. Huge fan.
I see you guys missed the memo about dressing up.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
realize you guys were putting on
Oh,
costumes.
you guys are doing costumes today?
I'm
That's so
going
weird.
to be wearing
That's
this the whole
so
month long
embarrassing.
just because, but I didn't realize we're dressing up. So,
This shirt is
This is just
new.
his October
so.
outfit.
hey, we want to go around and say what we're dressed up as. Kara, you
It's not
first,
super obvious.
clockwise to
Well, yours is
finish on
probably the
Annie.
hardest.
Go ahead, Kara.
I'm Lilo.
Oh, because there's Stitch right there.
Lilo and
Yes,
Stitch
you.
on the couch. Cute.
I am David S. Pumpkins.
There you go. All right.
Which I get it now.
I know we just watched the
I was
clip.
like, who's
Let me
David
tell you
Pumpkin?
what, that's got to be my favorite thing of all
Deep
time.
cut. It's deep cut.
That's pretty
Deep
good.
cut that comes around every year, man.
It's good. It's
Any
good.
questions?
I am generic cowboy.
Oh, lame.
Really?
Dollar
Lame?
sign?
I don't know. I guess it's cool.
Okay, listen. We can be
the hat.
honest.
The hat is cool.
We can be honest.
The hat is
By the way,
cool.
this is my dad. He was in a country band. This is like legit.
Wait, okay, where's that footage? Bring
Yeah,
that back.
honestly.
It was a long time ago. I don't know if there's any actual footage of it, but
Can I get a yeehaw from you?
yeah.
All right. We'll work on
Wow.
it. It's pretty good.
That was like California. Yeehaw.
And finally,
Back off.
and
Oh, I'm not
finally,
a cowboy today. Sorry. Go ahead.
finally, we have
Off
Annie.
the wall.
Honestly,
I feel like this is very on brand for
very
me.
topical. Very
Very
nice.
super topical.
Are you catching that in the cams, Kara?
You're not
The
gonna-
name
you're not
tag.
gonna
Name
Name
tag.
tag.
Name tag's gonna be a little hard to read. I'll read it out for you. It just says Monica L.
And you choose. Lots of Monica L's out there. You know what? It could be anybody.
Best thing ever.
Hello, my name is Monica.
I love that you chose. How did you get to this? Because it wasn't like a.
You know, I'm gonna be really honest. I think about Monica Lewinsky every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Is she
In-
okay? So in that narrative, is she the hero or is she the villain?
It changes
question.
daily.
Did she topple, a giant, or did she?
She can't be a villain. There's two. I think they both made mistakes. You can't like.
Hey,
they
whose fault do you
Look,
think it is?
no, I'm just saying.
Married, and he
It's
knew
true.
he was
Hey,
married.
Takes
It's
two to
true.
tango, right?
Like-
Yeah, I think it's probably a fault.
I think
Granted-
there's a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? Like,
we fully started with the AC on.
oh,
It's okay.
It's all right,
we're
it's all
already
right.
we're already committed. But it
turn it
is
off.
Start it
know,
over.
Great.
Look,
But
I
my
mean,
costume's
I
Monica
feel
Lewinsky.
like
I am Monica Lewinsky.
when
I'm
you're
just
the
gonna put that
president,
there.
you have a little more accountability than
Oh.
that, don't you? Like, how
Well,
on
but
earth?
then again, it's you're the president,
That's
so
true.
it's like it's anyone to be like, "Hey, Mr. President,
Hey,
that's
stop.
Mr.
Hey,
President.
Mr. President,
I don't know.
you
Hey,
remember
Mr.
your
I agree
wife?
with you.
I saw that West Wing show. I mean,
You have to. I mean, as the president, you got to figure that out. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
I feel like
it's-
a lot of people are trying to do what she did. You know what I'm saying? They're,
Are they?
Well, I feel like to some degree they're gonna like if anyone's gonna prey on somebody, it's gonna be the president. He's got all this power. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
that,
he's
I
gonna
know.
have to have a little
Poor-
defense.
Poor Bill Gates, right? Got preyed on,
Well,
right?
defense. You know what I'm saying? Just play
There's-
defense.
It's
William
like-
Gates, they call him.
William Gates.
Ugh.
But it's funny because I was listening to a podcast and it was about this off topic of Monica Lewinsky, but it's about presidential power.
Yeah.
And it's about the people who actually turn the keys to set off the like nuclear devices.
Oh, awesome!
It's-
Have you seen? There's this YouTube video of a guy giving a tour of the bunker. There's like or the silo or whatever, and he's like, "Yep." And it's like a 10-minute video. He's like, "You got to give out this code, and they'll send you back a code, and then
Yeah.
at the same time you turn your keys." Like
And it's like
so
across
cool.
the room, you can't, one
Yeah.
person can't turn both of them.
Uh-huh.
And so it was this guy who had gone through all these checks and balances to get into the final interview to be one of the key turners.
Mm.
And basically the person who decides if a nuke goes off is the president.
Yes.
And he questioned the final interview. He was like, well, who checks the president? Like, because at the end of the day, like the president can have a mental break and be like, send the nukes, and no
Yeah.
one's
Yeah,
gonna
of
be like,
course.
no, like, and he got kicked out of it because it was like he got into all this trouble for questioning it. He goes, I just don't want to be the person who turns the key because someone went mental one moment and
Well, then you
decided
don't-
that
you don't
would
want
never
that
know.
job
the
then.
nukes.
No one would never know who those people are, though.
No. But that was the whole
I
thing.
literally
is interviewing
think that
this
once they
guy.
do it, they retire. It's like a
Yeah,
crazy
sure.
job. Like they turn the keys, and then it's like, okay, great, like
You're done.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, the reality is like, well, there's not going to be another one tomorrow, probably.
Right.
Like,
Well,
They don't have second
unless there
rounds
is.
there
ready
is
to
a
go.
tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah. Hey.
It's not like a reloading process.
But-
You know what I'm saying?
Once those things are, we only have so many.
Yeah,
right?
Right. Yeah, but all that to say, presidential power
Yeah.
gets a little tricky. Monica would know.
Before we get too far into this, we have to mention Kat Pinning as our set director.
Oh,
for
Yes.
look at it.
spooky
Spooky season.
She
yeah,
should
you'll
really
see.
just get like a picture on the wall at this point, right? Like,
Oh,
I'm just saying.
I love that.
all right. I
or
like that.
we'll leave
We'll
a
work on that.
spooky homage to her throughout the year afterwards.
Oh, like
This is-
we should do like a little friend of it. She's not dead, but
Or
Yeah,
Mexican.
just like a little.
but
you know
that's
what?
fine.
But it's
Hit her with
spooky
this.
season. It's
This
the
can
thought
all
that
comes from her
counts.
25th birthday. It's on loan here. It's a piece of art.
Yeah.
It's really
This
big
is
history.
really something special. and I'll
if
tell
something
you,
catches
the
on
red
fire-
wax is dripping.
I wonder if she's actually ever used it, like actually lit it.
Oh, I'm sure.
No,
It's
she
Kat.
did
I'm sure she
at her
has.
birthday. She did, and I asked if we
Oh,
could
okay.
light it, and she
Okay.
said we could.
All right.
Well,
She says
so
what it's meant to be used. you know?
Fantastic.
if you'll remember back to Kat Pinning being on the 25 hour live.
Don't try and short us.
Don't try. You did that extra
Please,
hour.
Come.
Please.
When she said I have a candelabra in my car, this is what I pictured.
Yes,
is what you
me
pictured.
too.
Not like a plastic
too.
one. She's like, this little tiny thing. And,
Yeah.
and
here and
Taylor
just
Peckham
went,
just held it like this. I love
that
it.
was really something special.
It
This is what we were
battery
kind of
powered.
expecting,
Yeah,
right?
this is what I expected. But
And
I'm
now it's
just
here.
glad that it's arrived.
Yes. Well, we're here. We've made it. It's October. So,
Woohoo, it's
Wow.
October.
Wow.
so what's coming down the pipe for you? You guys got any October specific plans? We kind of talked about it a little bit last week. What we're looking forward to. But
Yeah.
No, I would love to do a scary trail. That's I think what I'd like to
Yes.
do with the crew. I think we'll probably film it and,
trail.
and share it.
Ooh.
Spooky trail.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
I watched somebody do a spooky trail on TikTok, of course, and I'm reminded how terrifying they are. You know?
Yeah.
Because you forget. I mean, at least I forget, and then when you see it, you're like, "Oh, that's right." It's like real people trying to actively scare you
Oh,
as
yeah.
you walk through
Yeah.
through like a creepy environment,
humans.
and it's like, boo.
It's not David Pumpkins, that's for sure.
Any questions? So it's like it always sounds like a good idea, but that's me in general. Is I like to set myself up to be scared, and then as soon as I'm in it, I'm like, I regret all my decisions.
Yeah. Well, that's like scary movies too, right?
Well, it's kind of
Yeah.
weird because I am like famously not a fan of scary movies.
Yes.
But like the past couple of weeks, we've been watching scary movies, and I've
Yeah.
really been getting into it. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's the environment I'm in, like with all of you guys, and we're like talking and laughing and screaming at the at the
Yeah.
TV.
I can tell you one thing: I've never in my life watched a scary movie by myself.
oh, I have one.
Oh, I have.
What?
I watched Silence of
too.
the
I
Lambs
have
by
too.
myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you really?
I did.
That was pretty scary, but not like
It wasn't, like,
freak me out
scary,
scary, like I'm Home Alone kind
Okay,
of
but
situation.
you
Good movie,
you
though.
were scared at the 3 a.m. scary stories.
Well, that was a different vibe, bro. That was
You've also
fully
been, you've been
different.
up for a whole day.
Yeah.
You're like-
I wasn't exactly like
you're
at
running
my
off
best.
a ton of caffeine.
I will say during that section, I know we maybe mentioned it before.
Yeah.
I was fully expecting them to have
A
set
scare.
up some sort of scare.
Yeah, jump
So I was
scare.
like, there's a camera that is right outside the door that faces the garage, and like the whole time I was like looking at the camera, like waiting for somebody to like walk towards the door, but no.
well, and then
never
there's a terrifying baby monitor that you have from
Yep.
like
happened.
1992.
Some would call it a door monitor, but I guess baby monitor is
It is
more
a baby monitor.
baby
and
monitor.
That's what
like
it's meant for,
old-
right?
technically
It's
sure.
like an old school TV screen. It's all black and white, and it's just
And
a
just,
little
like,
glitchy.
yeah, it goes
Oh,
off.
it's-
Every once in a while, yeah, it just like glitches out.
And
And
you're
I'm
like,
just sitting here
"That's-
like, yep, okay, well, we had a
That's how
good
we
run,
die."
eh?
Hey, it was a good time, guys.
Wow.
What about any of you guys? Anybody? What's the scary situation for this spooky season?
a scary
Or anything.
situation.
What do you
What's like a scary situation? Walking home.
What are you
Walking
excited
home in the
about?
dark.
Yeah.
Driving alone, everything.
Yeah. Any spooky things happening in your life?
Well, I have October's a busy month for me. I have a bachelorette party that I'm going
That's
to,
spooky.
which it can be spooky.
can be spooky.
Bachelorette party.
Which you guys just celebrated, and you had
Yeah.
your
That we did.
bachelor and bachelorette
I wish
parties.
I could talk about it. But
Yeah, it's listen.
You
let's just
signed
say
extensive NDAs.
listen,
What,
NDAs
what
have
happens
been
in
signed.
Vegas stays in Vegas,
Vegas.
baby.
Yes.
But you
Hey.
know what happens
Yeah.
in Big Bear, I will bring back here and
Oh.
say everything.
and I will tell you.
I also
I'll
have
tell you all.
another bachelorette party this week. This
Whoa.
It's
month.
October is the spooky season.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in spooky Scottsdale. Ooh.
Interesting. Nice.
Scottsdale, huh?
Spooky Scottsdale.
Interesting.
I know Scottsdale was a big place for bachelor.
This is
bachelorette
actually
parties. Who
this
knew?
is the second bachelorette party you've been to in Scottsdale this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Weird.
in the last 5
That's a
months.
lot.
Who knew? I didn't realize. Apparently, it's like the #1 destination for bachelorette parties.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's cheap. Maybe there's like a lot to do.
I suppose so. Was there like clubbing
She's like,
scene?
it's not cheap.
So-
She's like, I spent a
The
fortune.
Scottsdale part of Arizona, it's all bougie restaurants.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Like,
makes sense. You're like
Fancy,
you're treating
but
yourself.
they also have. If you've ever been to Nashville, or I guess kind of like Vegas, it's kind of like a mini Vegas strip of bars.
Oh, so it's easy to go bar hopping.
Yeah.
That makes sense. 'cause
okay.
That's my problem.
That makes sense.
I mean,
I'm
you
planning
can-
this Big
you
Bear
can bar
one.
hop
and
in
it's-
San Diego.
It's hard in Big Bear.
Pretty much anywhere, I'm sure.
Bar
there's a
hop
spot,
and
right?
You
Yeah.
know, you could bar hop down
There's
your
plenty
street.
of
You
bars.
just go
That's what
and you
I'm
take your
saying.
neighbor's alcohol.
In
This
fact,
Main Street,
In
they
fact,
close
last
it off.
Halloween there was a bar crawl that I went to with some friends, and
Wow.
we like went to all the bars in San Diego, and you got like a free shot here or
That's
a free
fun.
drink
That's
there,
fun.
and it was super.
Hey,
fun.
what are you doing this year?
Especially,
Bar crawl.
Whoa, bar crawl.
Super fun. It was like the weekend before Halloween. It's great.
I dig it. do
it's, I know it's only, the beginning of October.
Yes.
But it already feels like it's flying by.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like the year has kind of flown by,
Yeah.
flew by.
Flown.
Flown
Yeah,
by.
we have a wedding in early November. Well, we have your wedding too, but we're also in
Yeah.
the wedding the first week in November, and I
And
feel
then we
like
have your
it's
guys'
been
wedding
like
soon
I
after.
feel like for a long time I'm like, oh, it's like months away, like it's gonna be
Nope.
so great,
Yeah.
and I'm DJing it, and you're like heavily involved.
I'm
in
a
it.
maid of honor in it.
And so I was like, it's gonna be months away, and then I'm like, oh, it's in like less than
It's
a
in-
month. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got to get going on that thing. That's crazy. So
Yeah.
I feel you. It's going by so fast.
So quickly.
So bizarre. That's the season we're in. I didn't realize until it started happening. It's like you always hear about like, oh, all of our friends are, in that stage of life. All these couples are getting married, and
Yeah.
I became the thing that
Now you are a part of it.
I'm
You are
a part of it.
You're part of
That's
the problem.
true. There's a
Yeah.
lot of weddings this year.
Yep.
Right?
can't stand it.
You ever seen the movie 27 Dresses?
stand
I love that movie.
Is that Tina Fey?
No.
No,
It's
it's-
Rachel McAdams.
And she
Never seen
basically, it's about
No,
how
it's not.
she's
It's not Rachel McAdams. It's
Go ahead.
Tina Fey.
it's what's her
Catherine
face?
something.
Catherine.
She's on Grey's Anatomy. I don't know
yes.
what her name is. But she basically has been in 27 weddings as a bridesmaid.
I swear it's Tina Fey. Which one is she in?
No.
It's like
Mean Girls?
always a bridesmaid or something. Never a bride.
That's just a saying, I think.
She's in that movie. You May Now Kiss the Bride.
yeah. She's
Catherine Heigl.
Just, say I
Catherine
do.
Heigl.
It's Catherine Heigl.
Would
Look
have
up,
maybe-
known.
look up Tina Fey
wrote
movie.
it.
Look up a Tina Fey
Look-
wedding movie. I know there's
Okay.
one.
Tina
I have
Fey,
to show you
that's
these.
Baby
Okay.
Mama.
Okay.
Okay. So my dad's in a band, and I think I've mentioned that on this podcast. And he has a bandmate.
A-Track Highway?
Yeah, A-Track Highway, who collects dolls.
Oh, no.
Oh, thank
Yes.
She
Yes.
is now posting
No.
dolls that she has that are specifically like demonic
Oh.
looking.
you. Oh, looking.
Yeah, like I don't know.
She's not
there's
like,
no like
oh, there's
tie
a
to it.
there's
or
a demon
anything.
in here.
So,
I
first
have
of
to
all,
show you this one. How
demonic
can I share?
looking?
Let me save it. So I don't want to release her name. Like I don't know. I don't know her that well. Oh,
Show us.
this is so
the
intense.
doll.
Okay, that's a video. I hate that.
wow.
I want to show you some of these dolls she's been sharing, and they are. I'll start from.
Be pretty cool if you didn't.
So, I just realized
say
she's
you
doing
did.
it today because she's doing one every day of October.
She has 30.
Okay,
has
so she
more
knows
than
what she's doing.
31 dolls.
She knows what she's doing.
She understood the assignment in a sense, you know.
Oh,
God.
nope.
Oh wow, these ones are especially creepy. I haven't seen these before. But
Yeah, that's a big no for me.
I wanted to show you a few because we all know how much
You love
Ryan
dolls.
loves dolls.
That's my
Can
wedding
do it.
present for you guys. I hope you know that.
I will be kicking you out of the wedding. By the way,
And by
the
force.
minute.
Like,
By the way, we open the presents at the wedding. It's like
Right.
it's like a kid's birthday
it's a
party at
kid's
Chuck E.
birthday
Cheese
party.
or something.
Everyone sits down. You have the first dance. We
like,
sing you Happy Wedding Day, and then you open your present.
We sing
Yep.
you happy wedding day.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna share my
Oh.
screen.
Oh,
This is the
no.
first one.
Oh God,
So
that
someone-
literally scared
someone
me.
made
If I
it
can
to
be
make it
honest
look
with you, this
scary.
is the tamest of the four I'll show you today.
Oh shit. shoot. And this is a picture she took?
It
Yeah,
looks
she
like,
has these dolls
she
from what
sets
I
it up
understand.
like
From what
this?
I understand.
It looks like these dolls have been altered to look
be
spooky.
1,000%.
No, not that one.
That's two things
That
that I
one's
hate.
definitely just how it was bought.
No, it gets way worse.
That's a clown
No.
doll.
No, you stop. Okay.
Okay, that looks like a homemade.
That looks like
Yeah.
something from Toy Story.
That's a
They made
home,
that one.
A home
These
Okay.
look like somebody
She's just messing
bought
with
dolls.
us.
She's
Yeah.
just ruining our lives.
that's a craft project, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Look
kind
at Mod
of
Podge.
okay. The little pentagram star, like, come on.
Come on. It's a little on the
Where do
nose,
you
huh?
think she found that? She had to Google like.
Well, she collects
Small
dolls.
pentagram.
She
Nah.
collects dolls, but
Hobby
not,
Lobby.
they're not.
Teeny tiny pentagram.
Listen, they're not.
Hobby Lobby.
Oh yeah,
Hobby
the Christian company.
It's right next to.
They're not all
the sign that
scary.
says "Fall for Jesus."
They're not all
Yep.
scary. She collects dolls just in general.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's
Some
31 of them. They can't all be scary.
Well, I mean, she has a lot more than 30, I think. So we'll just be
Jeez.
updating you as time goes on.
As time
Pass.
goes on,
Pass.
No, thank
doll-
you.
Hard
Doll
pass.
watch.
I saw the red one today, and that's how I figured it
That's
out.
rough.
She posted, and I was like, "What is this?" And she was like, "Oh, day 5," and I'm like,
scary
"Day
doll.
5."
Yikes.
And then I go and like one of them, the one that
I
was
hate it.
the one with the horns was like a video, and it like changed color. It was
Wait,
like,
show one of them again.
you
Show the
did
first
Did
one.
you
Did
ever
you not
cut
see
to
it?
it?
Nope. Just definitely didn't. It was just on your
Wow.
reactions
That's
the whole time.
really upsetting.
What?
There we are.
Oh gosh.
This is the doll that I
Oh.
saw originally, and then I'll show you the other ones.
Nice job, producer Kara.
Sorry.
That's great.
That one is pretty tame.
Oh God.
That
Oh,
one-
stop.
That's
Ooh,
two things I hate.
clowns and dolls.
The,
I just hate the fact the little
the
Right.
frowny
eyebrows.
face.
What about the baby?
Ew,
what about
the
what it's
baby.
holding?
It's got
You
a
know
little
what?
tiny
Less-
clown.
not as worse.
It's got a
Not-
baby.
not
Baby
bad.
clown's got a baby clown.
Yeah.
Clownception.
So I thought of you because I thought, I know how much he loves it.
Oh, that's
Aw,
sweet.
thanks.
Yeah, so I was like, fun.
Gross.
What do you?
Fun
Why
times.
do you think you hate dolls, Ryan?
Let's get to the
It's-
bottom
It's a
of it.
fear that most,
It's
like
a-
lots of people have. So why do you think you have?
I also kind of hate mannequins. It's a word. I learned the word for it. It's
Ooh.
called uncanny valley.
Okay.
And it's this like phenomenon where it looks like a person,
Yep.
like it looks real, like it should be a person, but it's not. Yeah. Fact check me
Yeah,
on that.
I
Thank
got you, I got you.
Uncanny Valley is what it's called, and it's like
Ooh.
it looks almost human. That's why, like, have you ever seen like Ex Machina, that movie? It's this movie where this guy Oscar Isaac like builds this robot, and it's like it learns
Siri.
to be a human. Yeah, basically a Siri robot girl.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
Yeah, it's a movie that came out a couple years ago, but it's like it almost looks like a human, but it doesn't. You know?
Yeah, it's that whole that like you're explaining it well, but
Yeah.
yes, it's like it's so
It's just
close
like
to
this
being
unsettling-
human
this
that it
unsettling
unsettles
feeling,
us.
yes.
And
Yeah.
they use it in like films and
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
They play on it a lot.
And I really feel like I suffer from that. If it's a
it's a phenomenon. Wow, I can't say the word.
Phenomenon?
Yeah,
Phenomenon.
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 Wow.
I don't know. I love dolls.
But yeah, it says it's a phenomenon that can be described as an eerie or unsettling feeling that some people experience in response to a not quite human
Yes.
figure, like humanoid robots or computer-generated life characters.
I think I experienced that like in a strong way. Like I just don't like dolls, man.
I
Just don't like
literally,
'em.
he was at my house and I took down my American Girl doll and
And
he's
he
like,
freaked.
no.
Yeah, I would too.
Like, why you got that thing?
Why
I loved my American
Why is that girl
Girl
running
It
around?
doll.
was first
Why is that girl running
developed
around?
or like pinpointed in 1970s by a professor of the Tokyo Institute of Technology.
So
Yep.
the question is the American doll moving in with you when you move in with
Ooh,
Ryan?
that's a
That
good
is
question.
not the question. We've answered that question, and no, it will not
Are you
be.
gonna keep it at your parents? You're gonna bring it.
Yes. She
Yeah,
will
it'll
be
stay at my
keeping it.
parents. I think I'm gonna keep like all of my like when I
Creepy stuff.
no when I was younger
Beef Dave.
for CYT shows, we would get show bears.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
every single show you would buy just like a
Sure.
Beanie Baby that they would take the bear and decorate it as the show. So like Little
cool.
Mermaid, it's like a Little Mermaid bear. And there was
Yeah.
one mom who did it, and then they stopped it when I was like 14.
I don't
but I
have.
have this
I
huge
don't have
bag.
gripes with bears.
Bears can come.
But
Bears are
It's
fine.
the dolls.
it's like that kind of stuff. Like I have a huge bag of bears.
yeah.
That's like that can stay in my childhood
Well,
home.
it's interesting,
Yeah. You know?
because I feel like a lot of people have that where it's like you don't know what to do with some of this stuff from your
Sure.
childhood. Where you're like, you think about like I want to keep it, but it's just like a box full of stuff. You know, like
pretty
I have
cutthroat.
a similar box, you know, where it has all my old show stuff, and I'm like, I'll never probably like
Yep.
bring
Yeah.
this out. You know what I'm saying? And if I will, it'll probably be in the form of photos.
Yeah.
Like it won't be like this like memory lane thing. But at the same time, it's like I feel weird throwing it out.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
kind
know.
of nice too because my shelf I have like just a giant straight shelf in my closet where it's like all of that can be filled, and
Yeah.
then the rest of the room can be empty.
See, I
But so yeah, dolls
It's not
staying
like
there.
we're moving like across the country either. Like
Yeah.
you're moving 15 minutes west.
But see,
Like-
then it's
Very
like, why
exciting.
keep it at all? And that, you know, obviously it's sentimental, but like,
Right.
my
My
sister
mother
has,
is a hoarder.
Tina, I hope you're not watching this. Jeez.
No,
Oof.
she's not.
Like
Don't
the
worry,
American
she's
Girl
Nobody
doll,
close to me watches this show.
We were looking at when we did our garage sale. I got rid of like a bunch of stuffed animals.
Yeah.
And I brought out the American Girl doll, and my mom was like, "You are not getting rid of that."
Yeah.
They're expensive.
And I was like,
Yeah.
"Why would I get rid of this?"
but
But
I,
also, like, what are you gonna do with it?
I
It's,
got,
they're very collectible.
So sell it.
That's the whole thing. Is
Right.
like
You wanna keep
they're at
things
they're
that
at a
are
Goodwill,
more-
and Tina sees like a big picture, and it's like a piece of art, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna look that up," and she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is selling for $300," and buys it, and now it's just like in their house.
It's like baseball cards. Like the longer you keep them, the higher the value.
Is
I mean, supposedly, I don't know.
Well, yeah, American Girl. I'm sure at some point, like
but
American Girl
at
dolls
what,
will go
like
out of
at what
business.
point do you
Oh, yeah.
sell? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
when it hits
Well,
like a
American
career
Girl
high,
doll-
like
they do have like vaults. It's like Disney
Yes.
Vault, right? Like they'll have dolls where they just stop producing
Yeah,
them.
Samantha.
And so then it's like that doll.
know
if you happen to
Samantha.
have that doll.
I don't know, Samantha.
Samantha.
I want nothing to do with it.
I'll tell you what,
Respectfully,
Samantha. You know what? You know what
know
you
what
could
you
do.
did.
You know what I'm gonna
You
say.
know what you could do.
Samantha, you know what you did?
Yep.
That brings up a good question though. We talked about Ryan's fears.
Okay.
What are the rest of our fears?
What are your greatest fears? I don't know if that's my greatest fear. I think that's a very prominent fear.
I think one of your greatest fears is getting old, right, or something like that, or what?
No,
I think
I've
I feel
come to
like
terms
I
with
feel
it.
like your greatest fear is dolls.
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, it's
You
pretty.
really don't.
Okay,
like
let me
dolls.
bad.
set up a scenario for you. Because I thought I knew my greatest fear until I asked my friend one time, and now it's one of my greatest fears. Imagine you come home,
Okay.
you go into your room, you turn the light on,
Yep.
and there is someone that looks exactly like you
Oh yeah, you've said this before.
standing in the corner of the room.
So you got to fight you.
They're just
There's
standing
no
there.
like there's
There-
what happens next.
You
is up
are
to
there. Oh,
But just imagine seeing yourself exactly.
that's a mirror.
But
No, like
You
a
ruined
us,
Got him.
an us situation.
In
right?
that situation,
exactly.
I am also terrified of us.
But I think that kind of goes to that uncanny valley thing
Yeah,
where it's
totally. Like,
it's not
that's
quite
not me.
human because it's not you,
Yeah.
but it looks just like
so
you.
he told
Tilt
me
that
about that.
last
He
candle straight.
one?
Yeah.
he fully
So
told
it
me
drips
about that.
on the actual candelabra. Yeah.
He fully told me about that
Oh,
fear.
shoot.
By the way, it's Austin Bearcliff. I'll tell
Okay.
you. He's been on the show
Austin.
before.
Love him.
That's
And he
terrifying.
told me about that fear, and no joke, a month later, Us came out,
Oh.
and I sent it to him, and he was like, "This
He's like,
is
there
my
it
greatest
is.
fear."
There it
There you
is.
This is my worst nightmare.
Yeah, that would be rough.
Wow.
I think whenever this kind of thing comes up, I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of things I would be scared of if I was fronted with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't lay awake at night.
And fear
And
it.
think
Like,
about dolls.
like if I was in the ocean with a shark, I would be afraid of it. But I
Yeah.
don't sit
It's
there going like,
situational.
oh my God, like
Like in the ocean.
What if I run into a shark tomorrow? Like, I don't know what I can do. Like, you know?
But I think that's kind of like that's how you pinpoint the fear, right? So you're not afraid of
Sure.
sharks because you're still gonna go in the ocean.
Yeah.
Even though you know a shark is there. For me, the thing that's like unreasonable that I'm so afraid of is the idea of feral children, or like feral.
Okay, let's
No.
get
Off
into
of
it.
my
No,
fear.
no,
Yeah,
no,
I
no.
need
No,
more
I'm
of
sorry.
this.
No,
we
How
can't
It
dare
stop
caught me
there.
off guard, I guess. It caught me off guard.
Fear, shame, fear,
Feral,
shame.
Honestly,
feral children.
I wasn't
we
expecting
don't
that
kink
one.
shame and we don't fear shame.
We
on
don't
this
do it.
That's
podcast.
pretty
Well,
much it.
we did last week, but
We
that's
did-
fine.
You know what?
That's
That,
fine.
that guy deserved
Hey,
it.
you know what? Screw him. Who cares?
Yeah, if you get a chance,
But I think like,
don't look that up.
because
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is true in the sense that it's like, okay, if someone kidnapped me, obviously I'd be afraid of the person, or like.
But are
we
you
watch
afraid
Silence
of getting kidnapped?
No.
Is the question.
But-
like daily.
No, I'm not like, oh my god, someone's gonna kidnap me. But the idea of like, if someone said there is, feral people living in the woods right there. Do you want to go on that hike? I'd be like, hell no. Just knowing that they are there.
Just don't do it.
If someone's like, oh, there's a shark spotted off the shore of San Diego, I'm still going to the ocean that day.
Yeah.
because I don't have a fear of sharks.
And the idea of something.
The
is
idea
terrifying.
of me potentially running into
Feral
a feral
children.
person, because for me it's like the lack of
Children.
Can you
specifically.
clarify what you mean when you say feral
Yeah,
children?
and also, do you see several feral children, or what's?
I guess
going
have you
on?
ever seen a feral child
The
before?
question is,
Did you
Have you
did
seen
you ever
one?
watch American Horror Story?
Never
No.
seen it.
no.
There's one season where there's like a
Feral
family in the
child?
woods.
Okay.
And it's like that kind of
it's-
thing.
So first of all, let's just say, Mama, that movie, that like scary movie,
Mama,
came out, and the whole idea was that there are these children that, their family died in the woods, and they were raised by like this ghost spirit,
Oh.
and so
I remember
Okay.
the movie.
they were like,
I think
they
I
had
saw
no
it.
like, they were humans, but they had less human, like they didn't have, they couldn't communicate. They didn't understand any sort of social, etiquette, anything. Like they walked on their hands. And,
Yes.
Like us.
like kind of like us situation, yeah.
God,
and so
that's a
for
great
me,
movie.
I have like this fear
Us
of
got a
not being
good
able
ending.
to communicate. That's like I have a hard time anytime I hear, I am in a place where I don't speak the language, because
Yeah.
like I believe that my biggest, attribute is the ability to communicate. As
Communicate.
I'm stumbling through this whole sentence. The ability
Word good. Word good.
I good at word.
I good at work. Love.
But
I
so the
never
idea-
even saw anything for this movie.
Oh really? Oh
I
my
remember.
gosh,
I
it
remember the
really-
trailers
Really
specifically because we would go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like the whole thing is they go,
Yeah.
because it's
I
like
do
the only
not.
word they knew. But for me, you look up and then there's real life
Maybe we watch
cases
it
of
tonight.
feral children
Yeah.
being found,
Oh,
or
yeah.
like feral people being found. So for me, it's like just close enough to reality that it
Yeah.
freaks me out.
The
Like,
director was Andres Muschietti.
Machete.
No, Muschietti.
this is
Was it?
what's it?
Maybe
Danny
this is
Trejo?
the movie we watched.
He did
tonight.
It Chapter 2.
Oh.
Annie won't stay.
And
You know what? Let me tell you
Annie's
this.
out.
I'm gonna spoil a little bit of it. They're only like truly feral in the first like 15 minutes, and that's the only part of the movie I've really.
Do they
seen.
become super sentient after that?
Well, it's like they get found. Like they find them.
Oh.
But then they have a bunch of problems.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
feral children with a demon mom. Yeah.
Got it. So you're not so much worried about the repercussions of feral
Them.
children.
No,
More you are the
I'm
family in the woods.
I don't want to be the one who finds the feral child.
Oh God, me neither.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or any
I'm
kid for that matter. I don't want to.
I'm more than. I don't want to find any kid.
I don't
in the
wanna see
woods.
any
Even
kids.
dare.
Wouldn't dream of
That's
it.
that's terrifying thought in itself. Just stumbling upon a random child in the woods, being
Yep.
like,
Okay, Kara. Aside from onions, what's your greatest fear?
God. Oh,
I
God.
could
get
never
into
listen
that.
to
Why
Taylor
are you-
Swift again. Got her. Got her.
I'm kidding. Mostly.
Greatest fear, Kara.
I don't know if I have one.
I honestly that tracks. Honestly.
I
You don't
have
seem
little ones.
afraid of
Like
anything.
I don't really like heights. Like I don't like bridges.
To be fair, every time we've watched a scary movie after the podcast,
She's pretty even killed.
You
She's-
literally
yeah.
never get scared.
Yeah,
she's just like,
that is
oh
true.
yeah.
She is. She has no soul. I think is the thing.
So
she has no like.
That'll
I
do
really
it.
don't like going over high
Empathy.
bridges. I hate going over the
Heights.
Coronado Bridge, but I can deal with it.
Really?
I deal with it. I think my
Just like
greatest
you.
fear
Never mind.
goes back to like dreams when I was little.
Yeah.
I guess like one of my like it's not my greatest fear. It's just something I don't like is that at nighttime I'll look at my carpet and I'll always like imagine like a cockroach crawling on my carpet
Ooh.
and
Really?
like bugs.
Wow.
Bugs being on my carpet, but
Have you
not
t-
even
have
like
you talked about that on the show? Did you talk about it on the
I think so.
$25 podcast?
I think I did. I don't know. But like I remember having a dream that there was literally like cockroaches in my carpet and then I get up and turn on the lights and there's nothing there. So like I just picture
Kara,
that.
for a season of her life, had like night terrors. Like would wake up screaming, and her family would come in and be like, "Oh my God, what's wrong? What's wrong?" And she would just be like wailing.
That, I think we talked about it off mic.
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we
Yeah,
were talking
yeah.
about scary movies. And you're
I
like,
wasn't there, so I don't know if you want to describe it.
The one that I remember the most is I had a dream that all of my family and friends that I knew, I was like 6.
Yeah.
All the family and friends that I knew were getting chased by these porcupines that had like not just like pokey, but like poison in their spines. So if they got you, you were dead. And it literally killed my entire family. And I remember running in my dream. And then this is the part where like the night terror came in. I physically, for real, got out of bed, and looked in. I had the mirror closet doors. I looked in the closet, and there was some giant like demon, like black cloak, like deep, like crazy, looking at me straight in the eye, and I screamed and ran to my mom in the living room, and I remember the whole rest of the night I was a mess, and she was like, "What? What is wrong?" That was the last
So
one I ever had, though.
crazy.
That's
that was
probably
the
an
last
element
one.
of why she doesn't get scared of a lot of things. Because I mean, like in some horrible reality,
Yeah.
you lived through what a lot of people
We watched on the screen. She's
you know
like,
think of.
You
as
know what?
scary movies. And
You know
stuff
what
like
my
that.
greatest fear
Looks
is?
nothing like a demon.
What's your what's your
I've
greatest
You
seen
know
fear?
what it is?
What?
It's that thing coming back. Because even when I wash my face in the bathroom, my mind is like, is there going to be something behind me that I see in the mirror?
We talked about this
Yeah.
because you told the Cam story of the kid that was hypnotizing
Oh
people.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Did we talk about that?
Was this on the
on the live stream? I think, or was
No,
that?
don't
That
know.
wasn't.
I don't
when.
think we did.
I don't remember.
Who
Oh, it was
knows
just
what we're talking
afterwards.
about.
Crazy. That's because when you said I'm
The
afraid of
mirror.
him coming back, I was like,
Yeah.
that would- that was
Don't ever
crazy.
get hypnotized, Carol.
Do
I'll
you,
tell you that.
okay, so do you still know what it looks like?
Yeah.
You can
I
still see it.
can't. I can still see it, but I could not describe it on how scary
But
it
if you
was.
saw it, you'd be like, "Yep,
Yeah.
that's him."
Yeah. So when I like
that is terrifying.
in the middle of the night when I get home
I'm so
late
sad
and I
for
like
that.
go
Oh,
to the
yeah.
bathroom, wash my face.
Mm-hmm.
When I look up, I'm always terrified that something's gonna be like in the mirror.
You know
For
what?
sure.
I get the same feeling though. Like getting into a car at night or like
You always
it's
double
not like
check.
a yeah, of course, because you got to. And it's like I live alone now, so I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going like if I'm coming in the house right now and like this is it for me, like, well, whatever.
yeah, I always think that too.
Here
I'm
we
like,
go.
if it's gonna kill me, make it quick. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have the same thing in my bathroom. You can see the way the mirrors are. There's like a big mirror, obviously, and then there's two
Mm-hmm.
side mirrors, so you can see the top of the stairs when I look in the mirror.
That's
Whoa.
scary.
And that
I hate
freaks me
that.
out because
That's so
every time I
freaky.
like go to bed, I'm like, brushing my teeth, doing the whole thing, and I'll look up and you can literally see. So my fear is I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
don't
look
like
up
that.
and someone's gonna
Yes.
be standing at the top
Yeah.
of the stairs, and I'm like,
I have a one of those mirror medicine cabinets. And when like it's a
Oh,
mirror, but you
when
open
you
it and there's
close it,
stuff
it's
in
like
it.
dun, dun,
I always
dun.
think it's gonna be like, wasn't that in the movie we
was
watched, The
in a
Conjuring or
movie.
something, where you close the medicine cabinet and there's somebody behind you?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like ah.
yeah, terrifying.
Did you guys know that you're not supposed to put a mirror in front and a mirror in back?
Why?
Because it's supposed to be like,
A portal.
Yeah, portal
Yeah.
to
Well,
hell,
have-
whatever.
I
I have
a
two mirrors like that.
nope, you're not supposed to.
They're facing the opposite directions,
Nope.
but there's two of them.
Are they on both sides of you?
No. They're on both sides of the thing of the kitchen, the sink.
That's like
so
so Salem.
There's two of them. They're facing each
Yeah,
other.
no, you're
Oh,
not
no.
supposed to do that.
Well, that explains a lot.
That's like so like Salem witch trials. Like
When I
you're,
was-
you're also not supposed to like have a bucket of water like under a rope or something. Like
When I have
If you can swim,
yeah,
you're a witch.
and
My
if
story-
not,
And if you drown, you're fine. But
You were fine,
then
but
you're already
then you
dead.
die.
So
Then
we're
you're
dead.
dead.
my
We can't
only
kill
story
you.
as a
Totally.
child that like I freaked my parents out was my parents' bedroom is at the end of the hall, and I was in my room, and my whole life, not so much to this day, but
by the way,
my whole
the
life,
costume's coming off because I'm sweating
Yeah.
my behind off
Yeah.
right now.
my whole life, I've had felt like a weird energy in my parents' room. Like it's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
been like I don't maybe from
I
as
feel
a
that.
kid, it was always dark in there. You know,
It
it
was
was
like
like
somewhere you're not really supposed
so
to be.
I swore, and of course it didn't happen, but I swore that I saw someone. So my parents, their door leads in, and their bathroom goes here, and their bed's there. I swore I saw someone run, like from where the bathroom would be, and jump over to the bedside. And I freaked out. I told my dad took it very seriously. He was like, he thought somebody was in the house. We had just gotten home from something,
Yeah.
and I'd gone upstairs, and I looked over, and I swore I saw somebody like jump, like run and
That's
run through
terrifying,
the
yeah.
doorway, and I was like, I started freaking out, and I was probably like 7 or 8 or in that age, and my dad like took it seriously because we had just gotten home from, so he thought maybe someone had somehow broken in or
Broken,
something.
yeah.
So he went up there like full bore, was like checking the room, and I was like, ooh, and it was nothing. But that was the only time I freaked my parents out by doing something like that.
I freaked myself. Well, I didn't freak myself. My freaking dog scared the poop out of me. When was it? It was 2 weeks ago when I got home from this
Elsie.
podcast because we get home late at night
Late.
after movies. And I
As we
always
do.
go the back way because the front door is always locked and I leave my keys at home. And I went the back way, and Elsie is always inside the house, normally either upstairs asleep already or just in the living room.
Living the best life a dog could
The
live.
best life
there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But this
Dog life.
time, I guess my parents' door was open because she nudges it to go to the bathroom. I came into the backyard, and it's pitch black because, like, our automatic lights turned off because it was really late that one night. And she comes running from the pitch black
That's the
and
worst.
just shows up.
A beast
and
in the
she
night.
when
scared me.
something's running at you, you're like, what do I do? Do I like fight? Do I run?
She scared me so bad, and I was like, Elsie.
See, yeah,
Gosh,
no,
dang it.
that's a no for me. Yeah,
It's gotta be.
Yeah, I have always felt kind of like a weird. My house growing up, I was always kind of afraid of it, and as you get older, you're like logic yourself out of it.
Yeah.
And then Brindley, she was house sitting for my family, and we're talking one day, we're getting dinner, and I was like, "Oh, thanks for house sitting." She goes, "Yeah." Your house ever just kind of like creep you out? Like it just has kind of like a weird. And so it's like all of a sudden and this was,
Reaffirmed
like,
for you.
maybe a year ago. So now we're like full blown adults.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can't say that because now it's like
It's
it
all
wasn't
coming
just
back
me.
to you. It's all
it
coming
wasn't
back
like
to you.
me. It was also her. And
Were
and I
any
was
of your
like,
houses built like I know yours was?
on an Indian
like-
burial ground?
No.
Maybe.
Built like
What's going on there?
built like a long time ago. Like my house was fairly new,
Yes.
like built in the
No,
70s.
mine's from the 90s.
Yeah.
This house was built in '99. So
My house was built in 1940
what?
My
Really?
parents'
That's
first house
awesome.
was from
by
the 20s.
Adolf Hitler.
No.
Shoot.
No. By some Richie Rich and OB
The
putting
ghost
up
of
a house.
Hitler.
All right. Now that's a ghost story.
Yeah,
The
I'll tell you
ghost
what,
of Hitler.
that ghost is
That
actually
ghost
pretty
sucks.
tame. I want to double back to your us thing because I want to pose a question. Do you
ahead.
think you could fight yourself?
We've talked about this before.
Have we?
Yeah.
It would. I don't remember. Us talking
For
about
the
it,
sake
but
of this conversation, let's
I
just-
feel like
if
it would
you
be
were
tough,
there,
right? Because
Yeah,
like
you know your
You know
weaknesses
you.
and it knows your weaknesses.
you know your moves. You probably think alike. I imagine
you'd have to
right?
just like switch it up, right? Like
It would
Right.
freak me out because I just like the initial shock of it would freak me out. Just like
Yeah,
imagine
yeah.
yourself.
It would automatically
And the
have
way
the
that
upper hand.
Austin explained it is he was like, imagine like going home or turning the lights and like a carbon copy of you is just sitting in the chair in the corner and you're just staring at you. And
See,
you're
I
like,
would okay,
"Bert?"
layer. Is this thing evil or is it just like another
You don't know. That's
No,
the best part.
No,
you don't know.
you walk in the room. Here's what I'm saying: is it's an us situation. One of you's got to leave that room, and it's
Well, did you see that
Oh.
TV show with he plays
Oh,
Phoebe's
yes, yes, yes.
husband?
Paul Rudd,
Yeah,
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd was on a TV show that basically
Living
was
with
like
Yourself, I
living
think?
Yeah.
with
And
living
he
Living
with
with
yourself.
basically like
What would you
accidentally
do?
carbon
I
copies yourself.
fully forgot about that show.
that
Yeah.
show was great.
That show was
Never
so
seen it, but-
good.
So
Okay, spoilers for
it was
Living
a
with
very
Yourself.
quick, like 6
Paul Rudd.
episode.
They basically ripped off a Rick and Morty episode, but the concept was that Paul Rudd goes to this spa, right? And they're
To
like,
better himself.
Yes, they're gonna better you. They're gonna make you like they'll do this treatment on you, and then they'll send you on your way, and
you become
you'll
more
just be like,
He's super
successful and
depressed.
yes,
your
he's super
depression is
depressed. So he
cured.
does this thing, and then he's like, oh, okay, great, like that. I feel great. I'm going off on my life, and it turns out they're like basically take another you out of you.
They like
and it's like-
clone you,
And they keep
then
the
they-
depressed you.
they,
It's like they take the
well, they kill
sad.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But he
that's
didn't,
right.
He didn't,
He didn't die.
He wakes up
But
in
his
a ditch.
his clone survives.
yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, they both
And
survive.
so then
So he goes
it's like
home
this
to
whole thing. I
find
don't even
him
remember.
there.
We got to rewatch
And
that.
they do
That's-
fight at one
too.
point.
Yeah,
they
at one point they're,
physically
like,
fight
fighting.
each other.
That's pretty
So
gnarly.
the question is,
His
beat
wife.
yourself.
The whole thing is his wife gets pregnant, or
Yes.
his fiance
That's
gets
right.
pregnant, and it was like, was it the clone or was it
Yeah.
him?
that show's got to get
Yep.
renewed. That's right. I fully
so-
forget. I got to rewatch that show.
That
That's
was
so
that
good.
came out
Interesting.
It was like a
long time
one shot.
It was
ago.
a couple years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I fully forgot about it.
So you'd have to just like change your tactics. If your
Yeah.
tactic was like, first of all, I've never fought anybody physically like that before.
Never.
We could change it right now.
In my head,
Friday Fight Club.
I'm like, okay, just go for the throat and like just give him one of these and choke him out, right? But
But he's thinking that.
but he sees it coming, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta like,
you have to pretend you're a different person and then do what they would do.
I
It would
think
be
they know.
difficult,
They can't know everything.
They know
Well,
that
I think my
you are
question
you.
is: it an exact clone of me, or is it a better version of me?
No, it's exact clone of you.
I think it's an exact clone of
Would,
you.
would
See,
a
then
better,
I could
would a-
talk- I could
would
talk
a
myself
better
out of it.
version look like?
Yeah, you would go for logic and reasoning.
Yeah, I'd
Like,
be like,
hey, listen,
Annie,
instead of
sit down.
fighting, let's talk about this.
Let's sit down.
Do you think
That's your
you're?
trauma.
Would you?
We'll start podcasting.
Like, put on
Would
these
you
headphones,
be
we're gonna
receptive
talk.
to you, or
No.
would you be like disregard yourself? You know. I mean, don't we disregard ourselves every day?
Wow.
See,
This is a tunnel.
You're starting with the man in the mirror, literally.
Hey.
if it was literally
Asking
just
him to
walking
change his
in,
ways.
walking into a random thing and just seeing myself, being the person being like, "Hey, I'm you," I'd be like, "Cool, I have a twin."
Honestly, I would be
That
like,
is how your
you know
twin
what,
would
you can
react,
have
too.
this life. This is a perfect.
Yeah, so it'd be like,
this is
sweet.
the perfect time for me to start over. I'm gonna
You
pack
go,
a couple
you
things.
don't
I'm
like
gonna go.
onions?
Yeah.
Me too.
Me too.
Favorite artist on 3.
One,
two, three,
Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift.
Oh my god. Yeah,
What's
see,
your
I
name,
think
Kara?
that just shows the personality differences.
Yeah.
I'd probably try and kill him.
Jeez.
I would take it as a way to escape my life.
Yeah. Oh, you would?
I take the podcast on the road. Just email it anonymously to John.
John's
Travel-
like, hey,
travel
we
the world
stopped
solving
recording
crimes."
7 months ago, but you've been releasing episodes. What's going on?
How
It
are
turns
you
into-
getting access to
Your
all
twin's
that?
like,
become-
I don't know.
Perfect opportunity to become a bounty hunter.
True.
Dog.
I think it would be great
Hey,
to.
great
it's-
callback, by
it's
the
all
way, to last week. Great callback. If you want to listen to that one,
Dog the bounty hunter.
head on
It's
down
all
to our
the
YouTube.
twin energy
gonna find him for the
movies
record.
where it's like you can be in two places at once now.
Name one time that's worked out for the antagonist or
Never.
the protagonist, I should say.
Well,
In the end, it always works out.
Pretty much never, right?
Yeah.
On that Jimmy Neutron episode, it didn't work out.
I don't remember
Nope.
that one.
Hermione Granger, her little two places of one thing,
No.
got
Well,
all
there was
mixed
a lot
up.
of rules in
That
that,
was time
one.
travel. Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
crazy.
speaking of David Pumpkins, SNL has just started their new season.
Yeah, what do you think at the start?
I didn't watch
fine.
it.
It's fine.
I like Owen Wilson a lot, so I thought his hosting
Yes.
Really?
was good. I think he's
I
great.
saw a clip that Casey Musgraves just had her guitar and cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, and that was it. And she was naked.
Oh,
Oh.
I missed that.
I missed that one, yeah.
Ryan's
Yep.
like, yeah, I didn't watch that part.
Yeah,
Kara.
didn't watch-
Don't,
I
I
would
didn't watch that
never.
part.
I saw an
would
article
never. For
because
you,
she
I
was the
wouldn't.
opener of the first episode back. She was
Yes,
the musical guest.
you're right. They've only had the one episode.
Yeah.
This Saturday.
I think that, and I feel like this has been SNL since the beginning of SNL.
Mm-hmm.
Hit or miss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
It's almost
It
better.
never does mediocre. It always does really good or really bad.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
it's better to watch it the clips. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
online.
Yeah.
Then you're watching the whole episode, and then you have like those 3 bits in a row where
The
you're like,
commercials kill it
what
for
would
me
you do?
too.
What would you do with
Like
this?
when
Why?
when the actual TV commercials come in.
And they
Yeah.
have
I'm
a
like-
ton of them.
Yeah, these days it's like skit, commercial,
Yep.
skit, commercial.
Get
Yeah.
fake commercial,
Yeah.
which I always
those
love
are
the
funny.
fake commercials.
Those are hilarious.
Yeah.
And
But
then
it
real
is-
commercial. and
It's
you're
kind
like,
of crazy though. Like just the idea of it all
Yeah.
is so super inspiring that they just like do it live. The chaos of it all is so cool to me.
It's-
I'm just so
yeah,
surprised
real theater.
still that it's even on. You
Yeah.
know, like
Same.
in lieu of the internet, like
That
you
it
know,
survived. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's because there's enough people who want to be it.
Well, that are making money
and
from it
it's
too.
a legacy
Yeah, that too.
thing. You know, I mean,
Yeah, you're
how many
right.
cast members come on? They're like, I watched like Jimmy Fallon talks about all the time. He used to literally watch SNL religiously every Saturday.
Yeah.
he has his story. He's like, my friends wanted me to go to a party. He's like, but it was Saturday, and I
Yeah.
watched. So like they
And,
let
like,
him come
all of the
over
other
and
shows.
watch SNL in a back room.
Yeah.
While it was on, and then he came back to the party. Like it's like the legacy, right?
Yeah.
It is funny, like the rest of those types of shows have kind of fallen away in a lot of ways, like Mad TV, you know, In Living Color, like all these shows. Like it is just like SNL got lucky. It just happened to
Yep.
be the biggest, and
They just
Yeah.
celebrated
On
45
NBC.
The
years.
Amanda show
Oh,
fell
that
away.
was so good.
rip.
It was literally SNL for kids.
It
was
was
so
all
good.
that
All that.
All that.
good.
Yep.
love.
Yeah, that one was
and then
good.
they try to make So Random, which
So
is basically
Random.
a reboot of all that.
Yep.
Didn't work
I just
out.
like can't imagine.
You think it's
know,
gonna stick around forever?
SNL?
I think you're right.
I
The
think it'll
legacy.
hit 50 and it'll probably drop off because that's kind of when Lauren Michaels has pretty much said that he's gonna.
I
step
think
down.
if he ever dies or quits, the show will be over.
Yep.
I just can't imagine. I mean, they'll try. I no doubt they'll try.
Yeah.
I
but
think it will totally change.
it will.
Totally.
It'll change. I think it'll transition out, like off of TV.
Yeah.
If anything, maybe we'll see, SNL movies where they'll bring the cast, like,
Oh, that's
the
kinda
famous
fun.
cast members
mean,
back to make like
I mean, it kind of
They've
is
made,
a movie.
like-
Yeah.
Without commercials.
What do you
Well,
mean?
like you
It
could
is
say
a
the
movie.
Blues Brothers was an SNL movie.
Absolutely.
You know, and-
They did Coneheads.
Yeah,
They
it's-
did MacGruber.
Yep.
I just think I love it. I think it's so cool.
Other movies.
Other movies.
I'm sure.
I think
I
just,
mean,
like, the
and then
legacy of
those
it
guys
all.
that did Lonely Island made like Hot Rod
Yeah.
and all those like kind of things.
Yeah.
I think
it's awesome.
it is true though. If it moves to anything other than like late night Saturday primetime TV, it'll just die.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has no place on the internet just on its own.
In like the realm of TikTok.
Well,
and
because
fast
the internet,
skits.
like YouTube, there's a whole side of YouTube that is like skit comedy, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine it would survive on its own in
Totally.
the YouTube realm, you know, because people are doing so much cool and funny stuff already.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, yep, Wax is it's going
Wow.
down.
This whole
These are
piece
really
broke off.
burning through. I'll be honest
Dang.
with
Well,
you.
that one is just
I'm gonna have to
Just keeping
probably
up.
buy her new candles, which is fine.
They're like
Wow.
10 cents
that.
each, right?
What I'm kind of freaking out about
Right,
is
stop.
the one that has not really burned.
Yeah, I'm concerned about this one. You're right.
Oh.
Well, in other news, pop
Hello,
culture
guy.
stuff,
Hello, guy.
we should talk
Pop
about
culture.
Facebook and Instagram going down, and also
Yes.
what comes with that, because there is a big time whistleblower
Yep.
with
Yeah.
Facebook, and I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on it, because
I don't really understand
I missed it.
how it went down worldwide. I know
So-
that there was some kind of shutdown.
It was like a 60 minutes piece. Oh, wow, fact checker
well, so
to the rescue.
the broad strokes, and she'll get details, but
Okay.
there's a woman who's releasing information that she knows for a fact that Facebook actively was either pitting people against each other during the election, or also perpetuating, letting people say crazy stuff about the election that wasn't necessarily true, and not really monitoring it, which is kind of interesting, because I feel like that's how social media like kind of is, or
Is
should be.
It was-
how do you
A huge part
make it
was-
more than it is?
She was saying that they were turning a blind eye to activity
Like
that was
hate.
encouraging,
That I do believe.
but encouraging like human trafficking and stuff like that.
So
like
she-
all this stuff that they were
She
kind of
was
like.
due to like have a
She's-
deposition in front of the House of Representatives, like
Yeah.
today or
She sat in front of the Senate.
today.
The key things that the
Yeah, and
Facebook
so
whistleblower told the Senate panel.
the conspiracy, we'll get into the details, is that Facebook and all this shut down so they could do some sort of mass
Cleanup.
Yep.
cleanup of
Yeah.
information.
Wow.
And they couldn't do that without kind of taking it off the tracks.
Run a big,
for a second.
run a program
You
that
wanna
scans
know-
anytime they see the word
You want to know how
Trump
much
or something.
Mark Zuckerberg
Zuckerberg.
lost
oh,
yesterday?
I heard this. It's crazy.
5% of his of it was like 5 points, right, or something like that.
How much do you think that is,
5 billion, I heard.
Ryan?
I'm confused.
So
like
the
in-
stock fell.
The stock
From
fell.
like 9
5
a.m.
points.
to like 5, he lost a giant amount of money. How much did you think he lose?
sure, $10 billion.
I would say like 4.5.
Are they really that hand to mouth though?
He lost $6 billion
Yeah. That's
yesterday
So
because of all the ad revenue.
Yeah,
and,
people
yeah,
couldn't do any of
oh.
that.
No, so you're telling
and
me
he dropped a notch on the world's richest list.
no, it's not because of the ad revenue. At that point, it's because people dump their
pulling out.
stocks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
stocks
like,
yeah,
I'm
and
done.
people are dumping stock
They-
because
That's what it
It's
is.
a bad
she
signal.
like went on 60 Minutes, kind of opened up about it, and then the next morning,
Yeah.
Instagram, basically everything that
It was
Facebook
all
was in charge
and
of.
WhatsApp.
And I bet
too.
you it's a lot of
Was-
insider trading happening too.
Oh, yeah.
Like
So
they're all seeing the writing on the wall.
one thing she
bet.
said is, my team directly worked on tracking Chinese participation on the platform, surveying, something populations in places around the world. You could actually find the Chinese based on them doing this and all kinds of things. We also saw active participation of, say, the Iran government doing espionage and other state actors. So, like, she went out and said that Facebook has knowledge of,
Yeah.
dangers to national security and human trafficking,
And it's their
They weren't
Hey.
sharing it.
it's their duty to bring that forward.
and
it's
so
their obligation
that's kind of the
to.
question.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
like,
the government, that's why the government that's why she's talking in front of the Senate, because the Senate is thinking it's a national security issue.
Yep.
Like, they could have stopped something.
The question is that the government would have to legally change the rules that Facebook acts
right.
by in order for them to have to change it. Because the reality is Facebook is the
Freedom
first
of
of its
speech.
kind.
I mean, yeah.
Right? So it's like we're making up as we go along. We've never had this kind of platform before.
What do you think, John? Because I think I know how you think.
No, tell me what you think I think, and then I'll tell you what I actually think.
I think,
Standoff? Just,
hey, it's a slippery slope.
oh, yeah.
Classic John.
I don't
Look,
think it's slippery slope
you
at all.
So, is Google responsible if I Google how to blow up the White House? If I Google that, is Google responsible to take my search history and give it to the government?
No, absolutely not. Of
course not.
I'm on the side of that they shouldn't be under any fire. I think it sucks. I think morally that's wrong, but that's their right to do that. And just like in the same way we've talked about a couple, like 6 months ago when they completely booted Trump off of all platforms. I think that's the right decision, but I think that's where I was like, the fact that they could take someone's platform away is scarier than letting them do whatever they're going to do.
Well, that's where I see this going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Facebook is now responsible and it's going to give the government and this was something they tried I think like a year and a half ago, they were doing this whole bill where they were going to allow backdoor servers to be accessible by the FBI,
that's what they're trying to do. Yeah.
by the Pentagon, where they can go in and basically, and the idea is it's going to stop criminal activity, but then it's like 1984, right? At some point, they're
Well,
just
and it's-
watching everything
it's like
you got.
flip it, right? You flip it, and it's if someone's whistleblowing on the government,
Yeah.
say Edward Snowden kind of vibes or
Situation.
whatever.
Yeah.
Situation.
Snowden, man.
It's
Good
like
movie, but great guy.
now all of a sudden he is, it's like, oh, he's a
fugitive.
criminal, a
Yeah.
fugitive. When it's like, well, when he's saying all these injustices happening, I mean, there's literally a quote by a senator or a Democrat, Republican, representative, whatever, basically saying that, you are being such a hero for standing up against one of these corporate giants in world history. It's like, but, if you stand up against a government giant or world player, all of a sudden now you're
on
a
the
traitor.
other side of the
Yeah.
coin. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
here's, you flip it again and it's like, okay, well, Mark Zuckerberg was like a kid in college who made this thing that became wildly out of his control. And now it's like, we're looking at his personal Facebook post to
Yeah.
be like, what are you going to say about it, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
And it's like Facebook and mind you, I don't give a crap about Mark Zuckerberg. I think
Yeah.
he is a slimy human being.
Yeah.
And has probably
and
done a
also
lot
he
of
has
bad
like
stuff.
zero, I really feel like he has zero
Accountability.
say in this anymore.
Nah.
He's just
Yeah.
a figurehead.
Now
True.
the problem lies because he's created something. It's just like a platform.
Yeah.
Now, if Facebook starts taking down certain posts because they don't like what they see,
Which
that
they
becomes
do.
that becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And they're allowing other posts to go through.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're politically motivated now.
But
Yeah.
is that do they act as a political,
So that's
platform?
where
Is this
I'm-
this isn't like a government funded entity
it's
where
not.
Right.
it's just
I'm
technically
wondering
a private
when you
business.
get you get a notification that's like, oh, Facebook took down your post, Instagram took down your post.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's because people are reporting it and then it just says Facebook took it down
Yeah.
when it was
Or if
actually
because-
that
Oh, I'm
person
sure
who
it's a mix of
reported.
both.
No,
It's
it
their
is
job.
probably
it's,
both.
It's probably keywords you use. It's
Yeah.
probably,
Well,
But somebody's got to okay it.
Yeah.
They go, oh, there's
there's a
100
whole department that
Yeah.
reports, and so why is it that then the department? That means a department head is going, okay, if you see these posts get flagged, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay,
Well,
great.
and that's
This has 100,000 reports on it.
Yeah.
And it's a post about, it's like hate speech.
Right.
And it's just, it gets let up. But
Well, and then you can argue the other side, right? If you go freedom of speech, when Instagram, and Facebook, if you posted
Yep.
anything about the vaccine, even if you were saying that I'm against the vaccine for X, Y, and Z and these side effects that people aren't talking about, it will automatically,
Yeah.
the platform
flagged.
they'll link it to where to get your closest vaccine. Like,
Yeah.
it automatically, if
Yeah.
you use the word vaccine, it linked to info on how to get your vaccine, where to get your vaccine, like
information
it
on
was
it.
just pushing out the information on how to get vaccines.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing where it's like if you're posting about why you don't believe in this and they automatically
Yeah.
connect anyone who looks at it connecting it with where to get it and they're pushing in that sense
political agenda.
Yeah, political
Yeah.
agenda. Everyone get your vaccine.
It's a tough situation. Like I said, that's why the original thing we talked about with Trump was so hard for me. It's like, obviously, I agree that like what Trump was posting was obviously an issue, right? Like it obviously caused this storming of the Capitol situation, right?
Yes.
But the idea that you can like pick and choose, and that you can, like I said, you'll take away it from Trump, but then there are like leaders in other around the world that are doing bad things, and they're using Facebook as their kind of vehicle to control the public.
Yeah.
And we're not stopping them. It's like,
Where do you draw the
it's-
line if you have to draw the line at all?
And so that's
Like,
the thing is, it's freedom of speech. Now, I wish people would have the common sense to know anything you see on social media, you should not believe as fact until you
Yeah.
do the research.
but you just can't.
But you just can't rely on that.
And so, but even further, like, well, what does Facebook have a civic duty? Like, do they answer to the White House, or is this just like a website they built that anyone can use?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so
'cause
weird. The whole thing's weird.
Social medias have become such like a hard wiring in society, and so of course the government wants to control it. The government wants to go, hey, this is a
Right.
national security thing,
Yep.
and it's like, sure, maybe,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, if you do this with Facebook, then anybody that creates something that
Mm-hmm.
wants it to be something has to have government regulation. It's like, that's not what we want, you know?
Well, yeah, and then it's the argument of like, okay, it's also so hard because I say this a lot of time, even like church nowadays.
Yeah.
Where I go, if Paul walked through the door of your, Sunday church service,
Yes.
he'd be like, what the heck is
Yeah.
this? What are you guys doing?
Yep.
And I
Sure.
believe that too with, the founding fathers when they were saying freedom of speech and you walk through and it's like, what
This
are
is
you
what we
guys
fought
doing?
I love that. What's
imagery?
the TikTok where they're like, if the founding fathers came back and they're like, you're still using,
Like,
you
what
didn't
the
add any
heck?
more laws, or what does he say? He's like,
You didn't
"We're-
change
It was a
that?
rough draft, guys.
Yeah, that's what it was. There's a rough draft. It's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and-
there's literally like amendments, like fix,
And that's
you
why I
have to
say-
update, keep with the times.
And that's
right?
why I
Like,
say it's slippery slope, because I believe in the idea that we should be able to say whatever we want to say.
freedom of speech,
And-
press,
but at
and
the same
religion,
time,
bro.
I
Yeah.
understand the power that speech carries, and so it's not as simple as we're going to pretend like, oh, we're going to let everybody do their own thing. But the reality is now people, they read the stuff online and they think it's true, and so it's a battle between common sense of like the general population.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
what we're regulating that they can see, and is it our responsibility? And that's the hard part with Facebook is I feel like Facebook is generally one-sided. It obviously, it played a role in this last election to some degree, I'm sure. And
In the
what we-
2016 election.
Yeah, how deep we don't know. Like, have you ever watched The Great Hack? I mean, a lot of people think the reason Trump won in 2016 is because of he used this company that knew social media so well and was able to sway people in a direction. So, in my opinion, it goes both ways.
Well,
but
and you can take that back even further.
Yeah.
Like the Nixon Kennedy election,
Yeah.
and it was the first televised debate. And they say that Kennedy just had marketing down. He looked
Yep.
better on screen. Well, he's wearing the right color suit for how it came off. In a black and white
crazy.
video compared to Nixon, who looked older, sweatier,
Yeah.
gumpier. And so
Yeah.
it's like, of course, people are going to go for him when he understands the platform better and
Yeah,
is
that's
using
right.
it to his advantage.
So it's difficult because we're doing it on a larger scale. As we know, the world right now is
Oh,
more
of
connected
course.
than it ever was.
and
Yeah.
the founding fathers couldn't imagine what freedom of speech could have possibly meant in 2021.
Right.
Like that somebody could have such a widespread, like that newspapers back in the day could
Yeah.
only dream of having the same coverage that my Facebook post has
Right.
today. Like,
Well,
at the same time, though, there's lots of events in history that where when you didn't have freedom of speech, when the government did control a main part of the communication, it became a very dangerous situation. And that's I think the fear
Well,
for
and
people that are
sure.
pro.
And I think in
freedom
a
of
lot of
speech,
ways, it already does.
Yeah.
I think the fact that lobbying exists, like the fact that like a company can, have, I keep going back to newspaper because I'm trying to like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yep.
get into the headspace of like, because this isn't a new thing. I
No.
mean,
It's not.
right? Like William Randolph Hearst was getting money from
Oh,
every
gosh.
politician
Yep.
so that he could put out in his newspaper like, hey, vote for this politician, basically, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like
well,
this country's founded on it, man.
Yeah.
Like,
You're right.
Citizens United versus the FEC, the Federal Election Commission.
Give it to
Committee.
me. Come on,
it's
Annie.
It's a Supreme Court case where
History
basically
buff.
the Supreme Court ruled that in a way, if a company, if the government in political ads, basically, if you wrote
Yes.
a book and it was backed by funding from a corporation. And at the very end, it said, vote for, Trump.
Yeah.
That the government, because it was political based, could ban it. And so in a way is the government could ban books, and the government,
Sure.
Yeah,
and so it's
yeah.
freedom of speech. So the the Supreme Court ruled that Citizens United, this corporation that was making these documentaries, basically, twisting it so one candidate looks good, one candidate looks
Yes.
bad, that they said that they have the human right of, freedom of speech, that a corporation has human rights.
The commercials.
The commercials,
So
yeah,
rough.
that, it can
So
be,
rough.
it can have, and the reality is it's kind of insane when you're thinking of it, because a corporation's going to have millions and millions of dollars.
Yep. The resources that a
resources-
person can't have.
And it
person
takes
can't have.
one person with a lot of money to pay
Yeah.
those people off.
But then you
That's right.
you go back, and it's such an interesting case.
Yeah.
My government major's coming out.
I
Such
love
an
it.
interesting case
Good to
because
have
it's
a
like
government gal on the team.
freedom of speech, but also small government, but also now corporations have all this power, but then you
Crazy.
want government control in it. And it's like, okay, what do you do? It's too slippery of a slope.
Yeah, it's good we got a government knowledgeable person because
Yep.
we've been talking
We've
about
been just
government for
talking full.
just months, and we have no idea what we're talking about.
Nah.
Yeah, don't worry. I've written 3 research
We're like,
papers on that
president,
case.
good or bad?
No,
You
I mean,
decide.
listen, the reality about this whistleblower is it'll probably go nowhere. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she just
Unfortunately.
comes across as like a disgruntled employee.
I mean,
you know,
Yeah.
the Zuck is in court like once every 6 months.
He's
so,
always
like,
there. He's been.
he's the best when
The
he's
Zuck
getting
man,
interviewed.
alien lizard boy.
Oh, it's so funny. He's just like,
God.
I am not aware of anything like
Yes.
that.
He's like,
but,
could you please
thank
cite
you.
the post in the username?
I'm sorry.
Thank
The
you.
way the internet works,
I just fully have like wax dripping on me right now. Do you see this? I
I
like
feel like
reached
that
for
might
something.
be kind of a
Yeah,
time.
nope.
I just knocked something off the wall. I don't know what
It's
it was.
okay. We'll figure that
You know
out.
what? Who cares?
it's okay.
Frankly, I was not listening at all because I was just staring at the wax dripping off of these
I was
things.
just saying how funny he is when he gives depositions in like these hearings when he's just like
Oh,
the
yeah.
camera's right on him and he's like,
And they put the camera
What
at the
was
edge of
the
the
one-
table.
I am not
just
aware.
Right
What
on.
was the hearing? I just
I am
saw a
not
clip
aware.
that was like, "Are you going to ban Finstas?" And the person goes, "I just want to clarify one more time. We don't make Finstas. That means fake Instagram, and we don't actually."
We don't. That's
oh
people
my
don't
make
make
those.
those.
Yeah, but thank you.
So funny.
Wow.
That's the other
Wow.
part
Are we,
about these.
we're not already at time, are we?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I know.
Texas Road.
That's the other part about
right around the corner.
John, you have to go dress like that.
the other part about that too is the people the people in those
Go
hearings.
talk. It's the flames.
Look at my
We-
shirt.
I know.
Yes,
This
it's
might be
it's
the
the flames.
It might be the
I'm a
only
sweaty
time
boy.
we keep the flames actually burning, because I think that is what's
I-
causing
the
it.
heat,
No,
and,
no,
and
no.
frankly,
I-
this oil diffuser is going straight up my nostrils too. Just
Really?
Just
You
right
feel
up
it?
in
Are you
there.
hearing it? Are you feeling
just
it on a
punch there.
spiritual
It's
level?
but what a we
Mind if I
really go
turn the
through
air
it.
on pretty like early?
go ahead and
But-
just
yeah.
crank
Just
it on.
do
I
it.
think.
Let's be honest.
We really
Yeah.
go under any
Feeling pretty warm.
conditions to make this
Hey,
podcast
and you know
possible.
what? Nobody's listening to this thing.
All right.
It wasn't too bad on the
TikToks.
25 hours. Here we go. What state?
What state are you in?
Bow, bow, bow.
Oh,
I live in a state of constant anxiety.
what was was a
The
little
way that
emu?
she stops it.
Little emu.
I live in
Jedi.
a state of constant anxiety.
He's topping
So
Ryan
good.
during his
It's so
bachelor
good.
party. Hey,
Oh
hey,
my
buddy,
gosh.
stay here.
Hey.
Stay here.
I just want to
Hey.
refer you to your NDA that you signed.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
sorry.
my gosh.
Thank
And
you.
that didn't violate anything.
Nah.
You see me in hindsight, tangled up with you all night, burning
I love this one.
down.
I love that one.
Pretty good.
Funny.
Classic.
Tilt head back.
Classic.
Hey, I'm gonna hop on and make our reservation.
Cool.
Stop.
Halloween ready. I saw something like this, not this one.
Ooh,
Though.
I love this.
Oh, smart.
Genius.
Genius.
Hey, fun. It's not a giant Hershey bar, but it's pretty
Hey, you know,
good.
it'll
That's
do.
true.
It'll
Pretty
do.
good.
It's
That
true.
was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
It is
Got
true.
him.
Got him.
All right.
Hey,
next.
cut the check.
The best was my mom's reaction.
Yo, did you hear they are filming a movie with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds outside the office? Oh,
parkour?
They're rehearsing
The
something
movie.
in the movie.
That's where that one TikTok that blew up of
The I could be brown, I could be blue. Yeah.
I can be
Yep.
violet sky.
It was going on before.
So I'm a part of
but
this Facebook
They
group.
blew it up.
Group called People Who Sort of Look Like Adam Sandler but aren't Adam Sandler.
I love this.
my favorites.
Gosh.
Oh. Okay, that's
That's gotta be
okay.
a mistake.
Nice.
That has to be
Some of those guys were pretty funny.
flaw.
Dun, 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 dun. Da-da-da-da-dun,
What's
dun,
this one?
dun. Okay,
Listen- you have
here
to
we
listen
go.
to
Here
this
we
one.
go.
Hey.
Oh,
Hello.
hello. Your
I think
sister's
the-
TikTok of the cats is so funny.
The
She's like,
caption
"I
of that
know
one was like
day
my
we're gonna-
picking up my
they're gonna
grandma's
say
cat or something.
What's that?
Olivia's TikTok where she's like, I know one day like the
Like we're
cat's
playing
gonna
this
respond,
game?
or then
Oh.
and I go, what? Yeah. Oh, okay. We're gonna go ahead and just so good.
Oh, really?
All right.
Really?
The finalists of the 2021 Comedy Wildlife Photography Awards have been announced. Here are a few.
It really feels 10 times better in here. Oh,
Snake. Oh, monkey. Lizzo. Upset. Oh.
you gotta be kidding me.
It's so funny.
So good. Did you like
the sound effects?
Yeah.
Love the sound effects.
Go.
Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Final.
Well, hey, today 1 year of Growing Pains with Annie.
Annie.
Today or
1 year
Today.
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 One year today.
October
5th.
5th when
Today.
we're recording this. Sorry, we just outed
Today's the
ourselves.
9th.
Well,
Well,
Oh, wow.
so 4
Gotcha.
days ago.
Here we go.
Congratulations,
Wow.
Annie.
JoJo.
That's one of my students.
Oh.
She. Yep.
There's us. There's us. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll never forget, honestly.
Wow. The Crocs.
So good.
Wow.
If you're ever looking
Love.
for a good wedding present,
Hey,
get your friends
congrats,
some
Annie.
Crocs.
Congrats, Annie.
Thanks,
1 year
year.
of episodes.
One entire year.
Wow.
How does it feel?
Surreal. I kind of forgot about it. Like honestly, it
About your
happened where I was
podcast,
like,
or-
oh shoot, I'm on a different podcast.
Well, it makes sense
I
because
have a podcast.
because you're at like 25, which and you're bi-weekly, so
Yeah, I'm
it, like,
bi-weekly,
lines
so
up.
it's like,
yeah.
you know.
Feeling good? Here's 25 more.
Here's to 25 more.
Wow.
Actually, this is where I'm announcing it.
Oh gosh, yeah. On the super serious announcement on this show. No,
Oh, I
No.
thought it
she
was-
renewed.
Wow,
She
wow.
renewed.
For
Don't
sure.
worry,
I
she
already my
renewed.
contract.
Yeah, nice
I
job.
haven't signed with the producer yet, but we'll
Yeah,
we'll
Hey,
she's
that
still
guy
shopping.
sucks.
Hey,
Don't worry
realized,
about
I
him.
realized who I'm dressed up as.
Who?
I'm Jeff Bezos.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well.
Yeah, you look just like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do kind of look like him.
All right. Let's end it.
He's like,
So
okay, that's
soon?
enough.
I feel like we just started.
Yeah. The candles
You know,
are telling us
Flies
to
by
end it
when
soon.
it's not.
When you
25 hours.
when you haven't, you're not doing 25 hours.
Hey, let's do a little better on the costume next week, yeah? Yeah, come on. Let's
Why
Mine's
don't you
pretty
do it?
good.
I feel very
Thank
insulted
you.
by
Oh,
that.
You
Okay.
didn't. Oh, you didn't
Oh,
phone it in
really?
with
I
the
have a
suit.
prop.
Oh, really?
I have
Like
a
you had a
prop.
Halloween themed
I'm a historical
situation here?
A historical scandal.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah. You try to live
So
up to
am I,
history.
frankly.
Next
You
week,
are
I'm going
his-
hard
Well,
next week.
Form your own opinions, and we'll see you next week on
What the Podcast?